What if I told you that having an accent could be holding you back professionally? According to research from University of Chicago, professionals with clear pronunciation are 32% more likely to be recommended for leadership roles, even when all other qualifications are identical. This isn't just about sounding better, it's about being understood the first time. Every time. In 2025, with remote work and global teams becoming the norm, clear communication isn't just helpful, it's essential. So in this video, I'm going to show you what accent reduction really is and what it isn't, why it might be more important now than ever before, the exact process that's helped thousands of my clients speak more clearly, and 3 exercises that you can use today to start seeing immediate improvements. I know you have questions, so let me address the 3 biggest ones right away. First, does accent reduction mean losing your cultural identity? Absolutely not. I'll explain exactly what it means in just a second. Second, how long does it take to see real results? You'll be surprised, but it's possible to lose your accent in as little as 12 weeks. And third, can you really improve your accent on your own? Or do you need professional help? I'll give you the honest answer based on helping over 6,700 non-native speakers improve their clarity. Let's start with the basics. Accent reduction, also called accent modification or accent neutralization, isn't really about completely erasing your accent or hiding where you're from. It's more about enhancing clarity and removing communication barriers. Think of it like learning different registers of formality in writing. You're adding another communication tool to your toolkit, not really replacing your existing skills. Your accent is essentially a muscle memory. See, as you learn your first language, your brain develops very specific patterns for how to move your jaw, lips, and tongue to form sounds. See, these movements became so automatic that you don't even think about them anymore. The challenge comes from when you speak English, which has its own unique set of movements. Your brain naturally defaults to what it already knows. Your first language's muscle movements. So let me give you an example, and a couple of examples actually, of what that might look like in practice. So for Spanish speakers, accent neutralization might focus on distinguishing between E sound in sheep versus I sound in ship. Properly pronouncing the J sound in words like judge, which doesn't really exist in Spanish. Mastering the neutral rhythm of English sentences, that is different significantly when compared to Spanish. For Indian English speakers, common focus areas might include modifying the retroflex T and D to sound more American, adjusting vowel length and quality in words like bat versus bet, developing more variation in sentence intonation patterns, and for Mandarin speakers, typical accent modification might address distinguishing between R and L sounds. Adding final consonants that don't really exist in Mandarin is also something that we would address. So implementing correct stress patterns in multiple syllable words is what is crucial to understand. Successful accent reduction targets specific sounds and patterns that create barriers to your particular language background. It's just not the same for every language. Therefore, a one-size-fits-all approach simply does not work. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about my accent? People understand me well enough. Fair. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had somebody ask you to repeat yourself in a meeting? Maybe noticed people nodding politely while looking confused? Maybe you felt your confidence drop when speaking in professional settings? Or maybe choosing simpler words instead of the best words to express your ideas? See, these small moments add up. And in today's increasingly global workplace, clear communication is more valuable than ever. So whether you're leading virtual meetings, presenting to clients, or maybe collaborating with international teams, being immediately understood saves time and creates smoother interactions. Beyond the professional impact, there's a simple daily benefit of communicating without friction. See, many of my clients tell me that before accent modification training, they would mentally rehearse even simple interactions like ordering coffee, making phone calls, or even asking for directions, anticipating the need to repeat themselves. That, if you ask me, I see as a little bit of a problem. So after improving their pronunciation clarity, my students describe a profound sense of freedom in these everyday conversations. This reduced cognitive load allows them to focus on the content of their communication rather than the mechanics of what it is that they need to do to be understood. Remember that University of Chicago study that I mentioned a brief while ago? See, professionals with clear pronunciation were 32% more likely to be recommended for leadership roles. If you ask me, that's a significant advantage in competitive career environments. So, how does accent reduction actually work? Let me walk you through the process that I use with my clients. We begin with a detailed evaluation of your speech patterns to identify exactly which sounds, rhythm patterns, and intonation elements create barriers to your clear communication. Now, most people only need to modify 10 to 12 specific sounds to dramatically improve clarity. Following the assessment, we move on to weekly one-on-one sessions. Most clients attend one 15-minute coaching session where we work on specific sounds and patterns that we've identified in the initial assessment. Each session builds on the previous progress and introduces new techniques and new sounds. Now, really important, in between sessions, you want to complete about 20 to 30 minutes of daily practice using customized audio exercises. This consistent practice is what actually rewires your muscle memory and creates permanent change. Now, every few weeks, we'll record your speech to document improvements and adjust areas as needed. This is what creates accountability and provides motivational evidence of your progress. Finally, as you master each new element of practice, I'll help you apply it to your specific professional and personal context through targeted role-playing and situational exercises. This structured process is what makes sure that you're always working on the most impactful elements for your speech patterns, rather than, using a generic approach such as using an accent reduction app. But you might be wondering, how long does this all take? See, most clients notice their first significant improvement within 3 to 4 weeks of consistent practice. By 8 to 12 weeks, they typically report that other people have started commenting on their clear speech. And more substantial transformation usually takes about 6+ months of ongoing attention. The most important thing to understand about the timeline is that consistency matters more than intensity. So 15 to 20 minutes of daily exercise is far more effective than occasional longer sessions when it comes to developing new speech habits and new muscle memory. Now, let me share some practical tips that you can start implementing immediately to improve your clarity. Number one, you want to train your ears first. Before you can change how you speak, you need to hear the differences between your current pronunciation and your target pronunciation. See, many people struggle with accent modification because they can't perceive these subtle distinctions. So you want to start by listening to podcasts, news, broadcasts, audiobooks with neutral American speakers. You want to focus on one sound at a time rather than trying to absorb everything. Also, you can use minimal pair exercises like ship versus sheep to train your ear to hear those differences. Also, there are some pretty amazing tools such as Youglish that can help you hear how specific words are pronounced in different contexts. Number two, record yourself regularly. I can't stress this enough, but recording yourself provides an objective feedback to your specific progress. So how should you do this? You want to start with a baseline recording, reading a standard paragraph. You want to practice specific sounds or patterns, and then record yourself again after, let's say, a week worth of practice. Then what you do is you start to compare the recordings to hear the improvement. And this visual and auditory evidence of progress can help boost your motivation as you continue to master, your American accent. Number three, you also want to focus on your muscle memory. See, your accent is basically a set of muscle habits. Now, changing those habits requires physical training. No, I don't mean jumping through hoops and anything, but you are going to be doing some physical training that has to do with your tongue, lips, and jaw. There are specific positions for all those. So you want to practice these positions in front of the mirror. You want to start with isolated sounds before combining them into words and phrases. For many sounds, the difference between clear and unclear pronunciation is just a few millimeters away of tongue placement. Finally, you want to learn stress and intonation patterns. See, the music of English often has a greater impact on understanding than individual sounds have. English is a stress time language, meaning some syllables are emphasized more, while some others are reduced. So you want to practice identifying and emphasizing the stressed syllables in polysyllabic words. Those are the words with multiple syllables. Learn the natural rhythm patterns of statements, questions, and emotions, because those can be different too. And what a lot of my clients are surprised to discover is that improving these rhythmic elements oftentimes creates more immediate clarity than perfecting individual sounds. Let me share some of the most effective accent reduction activities that you can incorporate into your daily routine today. First off, shadowing real conversations. Shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques when it comes to developing natural sounding speech. So how do you do that? You want to choose a short audio clip, 30 to 60 seconds, of a native speaker. Then you want to listen to them once to understand the content. Then you want to play it again, repeating each phrase immediately after you hear it. Gradually decrease the gap until you're speaking almost simultaneously. Finally, you want to try and reproduce the entire passage from memory. This technique helps you internalize not just individual sounds, but also the natural rhythm and intonation patterns of a fluent speech. The next one is minimal pairs and vowel drills. See, targeted practice with sounds that cause confusion is really important. You want to create lists of minimal pairs that are relevant to your challenges. For example, B versus bit, bed versus bad. When you practice these contrasting sounds daily, it becomes automatic to hear the distinction. You want to record yourself pronouncing both words and then analyze the differences. Then you want to incorporate those sounds into phrases and sentences. These focus drills create the foundation for clear pronunciation in everyday speech. Next, what you could do is role play for real life scenarios. See, bridging the gap between practice and real world application is very important. You want to start by identifying situations where clear communication is most important for you. Then you want to script and practice common interactions, introductions, meetings, presentations, whatever it is that you're dealing with. And then you want to gradually increase the complexity and spontaneity of these role plays. This contextual practice is what can help you embed new pronunciation patterns into your everyday communication. Now, with all these tips and techniques, you might be wondering, can I just do this on my own? Do I really need a coach? The honest answer, based on my experience with thousands of clients, is that while self-study is valuable and people have achieved some results with it, it comes with its own set of significant limitations. Number one, self-diagnosis can be really difficult. See, most people can really accurately identify which specific sounds are creating barriers to understanding. What you think is the problem oftentimes is not the main issue. Practice without feedback can also reinforce mistakes and errors. See, if you're practicing incorrectly, you're actually cementing that problematic pattern rather than improving it. And also, accountability kind of matters. So having regular sessions with a coach dramatically increases consistency, which is the single most important factor in successful accent modification. Not to mention that personalized guidance accelerates progress. So it's better to have a customized approach that targets your specific challenges, because that's gonna get you more results faster than any generic exercise will ever do. That said, the most successful clients combine professional coaching with consistent self-practice. So you don't have to do one or the other, you can combine it. The benefit of having a coach is that the coach can provide a roadmap and feedback, while your daily practice is what creates the lasting change. Professional accent coaching offers several advantages that can significantly accelerate your progress. Number one, it's very easy to quickly identify which specific sounds and patterns are creating the biggest barriers to clarity when it comes to your unique speech patterns. So rather than wasting the time on sounds that you already know how to pronounce clearly, I can help you focus exclusively on 10 to 12 sounds that will make the biggest difference for you. I can immediately catch and correct subtle errors that you might not even notice on your own, preventing you from reinforcing the incorrect patterns. Now, regular sessions make sure that you stay consistent with your practice, and having somebody celebrate your progress makes you, motivated. At least that's what it does for me. Most clients achieve, in 3 months with coaching what would take maybe a year or more through self-study alone. Now remember, accent reduction isn't about completely eliminating your accent. It is more about enhancing clarity where needed while maintaining the elements of your speech that reflect your truly unique identity and background. If you're ready to take the next step towards a clear, more confident communication, I offer free 30-minute accent assessment sessions. During this session, you'll receive personalized feedback on your current speech patterns. We'll identify exactly which sounds are creating the most barriers to clear communication, and you'll learn about customized approaches for your specific needs, as well as get a realistic timeline for your accent modification goals. Also, you can ask any questions that you have about the process. There's absolutely no obligation to continue beyond this free assessment. It's simply an opportunity for you to gain valuable insights about your speech and determine if accent coaching is the right thing for you. To schedule your free assessment, simply click on the link in the description below this video, or you can visit my website at Intonetic.com. Clear communication is just a skill that can be developed, and I'm here to help you do it efficiently and effectively. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos on accent reduction, clear communication, and professional speaking skills. Make sure to turn on the notifications so that you don't miss my next video, where we'll be breaking down the top 5 pronunciation challenges for different language backgrounds. And remember, your accent tells your unique story. My job isn't to erase it, but to ensure that your voice is heard exactly the way that you intend without any barriers or misunderstandings. So don't forget to click below to book your free accent assessment, and let's start your journey to clear communication today.